Big up G Yummy One for this Afro-Scot Agape painting on a plate. Nice job. Greetings, all you very rare individuals. Welcome to the Afro-Scot Paint Just Create. This is our second edition, and today we're going to be painting a vase. This is the incomplete version of the vase, and this is the complete version of the vase. It's an Afro-Scot vase, and I really enjoyed painting this one. And by the end of this video, you see the whole process of how I got from nothing to something. It's pretty. You're gonna need a cup of water, tissue, fine tip paintbrushes and a thick one. And we're gonna use some paints as well. Ceramic paints would work the best with this. Let's begin. Like I said in my last Afro-Scot Paint Just Creates, I don't like to put outlines on anything that I'm painting on because I believe that it ruins the finish. And I also like to have my back against the wall, so I do a really good job and I take my time. Now when I'm painting on ceramics, it's much easier with the brush because the brush glides around the surface really easy. So I don't really need to work too hard like I would when painting on fabrics, because of course ceramics don't have any threads or tight knit textiles on the surface. The only struggle when painting this would be getting around the round surface. As you can see, I have to be very careful when maneuvering with my hands around this round vase, and I have to be careful not to get my paints on my fingers, because I believe it's really bad if you touch a part of the vase that paint shouldn't be, and that can ruin the look because then you have to spend time trying to remove the paint, and if it dries or sets fast, you're kinda gonna end up with a bad finished vase. So I have to be careful, I have to take my time. I can't be in a rush to finish it. When painting, I like to mix my paints with waters as well, so as to get a smooth glide on the brush, because sometimes with paints like this it can dry fairly quickly. So it's all like watercolor painting as well. You have to just take your time. That's really the main key when you paint. You have to take your time with it. And the idea for this painting was I wanted to do multiple Afro-Scot Agape designs around the vase. I think it worked out pretty well, and you see in the end. But in a way, I didn't really start off trying to do this idea. And the great thing about painting is that by the end of the painting stage, when you finally have a finished design or artwork, you usually end up with a design totally different from the initial idea. And that's the fun, unpredictable part about painting. You never know how it's gonna end, and that could be a interesting commentary on life. So I'm really enjoying painting this. It didn't take me too long. Usually some paintings can take several weeks, but I really enjoyed this one. I did it in my studio, and it was great painting this round vase. And as you can see, I'm taking my time while painting round, especially the designs. I'm not rushing. I'm trying to get it right. And it's funny I'm saying that I'm not rushing, but the video is speeding past hours of work. And as you can see, I'm kind of incorporating a different design than what I'm usually doing. a different style, because I used to paint just on fabrics Well, I found a new interest in painting ceramics, in which I generally just enjoy painting on different materials. It's very interesting, very fun. So as you're painting this, you'd want to take your time and make sure that you're using a fine tip brush. A fake brush would not be a good way to get a fine finish, as I'm doing. And don't worry about making a mistake. Mistakes will happen. I think the best thing about being an artist is that even though you make a mistake, a really good artist knows how to turn a mistake into a blessing. So I'm trying to just get the edges painted really well here, so that it actually resembles what I'm trying to do. And I now get the edges and the outlines painted in black so it pops out. And what I found out recently actually was Africa used to be called Alkerbulon before it became Africa, and Alkerbulon meant Garden of Eden, which is quite nice. People do say civilization did start in Africa, so I found that really interesting. It's a great reason to be an Afro-Scot, to know that your place of birth was associated with the Garden of Eden in the Bible. In Scotland as well, didn't always used to be called Scotland, which is quite interesting. Scotty was a derogatory term for somebody who spoke Gaelic, which we know are the original Scottish people, or the original Scots. Found that quite interesting. And Afro-Scot is just so dear to me because it really shows my identity as an African growing up in Scotland and knowing about my both interesting cultures that made me who I am today. And agape is all about love. I guess this could be a circle of love in a vase. Who knows? Who knows? This was the second edition of Afro-Scot Paint Just Create. This is the finished version of the vase. Nicely finished. Try this for yourself. Send some pictures to me and I'll feature it on this Afro-Scot Paint Just Create. This was a nice one done by a lady. Follow our Instagram and send yours free as well so you can be featured. But this is Afro-Scot Paint Just Create, and we'll see you on the next one.